Okay, well, welcome to my YouTube channel, I guess. I've been thinking for a while if I'd wanted to do this, and I decided let's just go for it. My name's Alyssa. I think that this channel will primarily be about book stuff because I love to read, hence all of my books. I figured my first video could kind of be an introduction video, but then also I figured I may as well just do my July wrap up because 2 for 1, I guess. My name's Alyssa. Like I said, I love reading, I love Spider-Man, working out, soccer, all of these fun things. My favorite book series is the Addicted Calloway Sisters series, but also Throne of Glass. Those hold very, very special places in my heart. I love Taylor Swift. I listen to her all the time. I've also been listening to Niall Horan a lot. I went to his concert in July. That was probably one of my favorite things that I did all summer long. Now, enough with the introduction. I'm ready to kind of get into my wrap up. The first book I read in the month of July was Nora Goes Off Script. This is my first book I've ever read by her, and I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a quick read. I read it in a day. It was a nice romance. I gave it, I think, 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. The next book that I read was, I actually don't even have it with me. It was by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read After I Do. I was not a huge fan of that book. I thought it was an interesting take on what happens when marriage kind of starts to fall apart and what that looks like. But other than that, I wasn't very invested in the story, and since I'm not married, I couldn't quite relate to that, I guess. I don't know. I think I gave that 3 stars. And then after that book, I read Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I like Tessa Bailey's books. I really liked It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker. I really, really enjoyed those. However, I did not like this book. I was not invested in the characters or the love story or anything like that. I kind of just rushed through the ending because I was just kind of ready for it to be over, honestly. I gave this book 2 stars, so not much I really have to say about that. Then, after that, I read The Ballad of Never After. I've read the first book back in December or January, I think, and I really, really liked it, but I kind of put the series on pause and decided to read other things. And then this summer, I finally bought this book, and I was like, all right, it's time. Gotta read it. I really liked Jax in the first one, so I was and I'd heard that this book was a lot of people's favorites in this trilogy. So I was like, all right, it's time to read this. I read it. I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 4 stars. It was very, very good. I love Jax. Yeah, it was good. Then I read The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. I thought this was really cute. I don't think that I've really thought about it since I've read it, but I thought it was a nice quick read. The romance was cute. The storyline was good. I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite book by her. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed reading it, but it was not my favorite. But I still gave it a 3 stars. I think that 3 stars is a good rating. I don't think it's bad. It's more than half. So, and then after that, I ended up finishing I started rereading the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I was rereading it earlier in the year and I decided to finish it. So naturally, after that, I read Hot House Flower because this is the one I had left off on. I read this one. I love Reich and Daisy. They're my favorite couple in the series, I think. The age gap, it doesn't bother me. I don't think it's that bad personally. So I read this, loved it. I had a great time rereading this series. I finished rereading it in a month. This one is a 5 stars for me, just because I love how all of it goes. This is a 5-star series. 5-star series for me. After that, I read Thrive. It was very good, very fun. There were many times that I got annoyed throughout the series. So I give this a 4 stars. And then after that, I read Addicted After All. I am obsessed with this book. It made me cry, made me laugh, made me happy. It just kind of wraps up the Lily and Lo story so perfectly well, and I just had a great time rereading it, and I really, really enjoyed it. So 5 stars. And then I read Fuel the Fire. This is another one of my favorite books in this series. I don't want to get too much into it just because, you know, it's part of a series. I don't know who all's read it and who's not. I would absolutely recommend this series. I think it's such a beautiful story, and I have now reread this series. I've read it 3 times now, so I think maybe I'm biased. It is my favorite series, so I would recommend it to everyone. It's not for everyone, I will say, but I recommend it that you at least try it. Then I read Long Way Down. This story has my heart. I was crying. I cry every time I read this book. I think it's amazing. 5 stars. And then Some Kind of Perfect. The most perfect epilogue book I've ever read. I love that all the characters come back together, and it just makes my heart happy. I love it. So then after that, I decided, because this author released a book this month, I decided to reread Powerless so that I could kind of refresh my memory on the book in time to read Reckless. I've not read it yet. I plan to get to it hopefully soon, but yes, I reread Powerless, and I've seen that this book has been going around everywhere. A lot of people are obsessing with it, and I understand the hype around it. It's not one of my personal favorite romance or romantasy books that I've ever read. However, I do recommend it. I think it's a good time. I gave this book I want to say 3.75 stars, because it's not quite a 3 stars, not quite a 4 star for me. However, I am leaning more towards 4 stars just because I think that there are a lot of really good scenes just with the action and the plot. However, there were times that I was not invested in it, and yeah. However, I am very excited to read Reckless. I've heard a lot of good things, so I think that will be a good time. I still need to get it and read it, but I'm very excited. And then I read Powerful. I loved this. It was nice and short, a quick little easy read. I loved having this little short story about one of the characters. I loved, and the ending had me sobbing. I was crying. I could not put this book down. I just wanted to read it. It was such a sweet, sweet story. It had a very good characters. I was very invested in. I think I was more invested in these characters than I really was in the characters in Powerless, but I'm thinking that might change when I read Reckless. I'm hoping it does, because I really, really want to enjoy the rest of the series. So that was all of the books that I read in the month of July. That's probably the biggest reading month I've had so far this year. That gives me a total of 12 books. I read 12 books in the month of July, and it was a really good reading month, and I was very happy with all of the books that I read. So there's that. Well, thank you for coming and watching this video and just meeting me. I'm very, very excited to kind of start this YouTube journey. As I said, this is my first ever video and I'm new to this, but I watched a lot of other YouTubers like Sarah Caroli, I think, Caroli, Destiny Sidwell, Larry Reads, and I really look up to them and I love watching their videos, so I figured why not do the same. So thank you for watching. Maybe like, subscribe, all of those fun YouTube channel things, and I will see you in the next one.